This is TWiT.
This is nuts. Brian, this is your story. Tell us about the Ring Always Home Cam.
Well, I actually want one too because I'm a nerd and it seems really cool.
It is cool.
But yeah, so imagine like a little box and a tiny drone can pop out of it. And the camera's on the bottom part of it, like the little tail hanging down, so that when it's in its box, the camera's not looking. But the idea is it syncs to all the other Ring stuff. And let's say there's a detection of a noise, maybe somebody at the door or a window, or no one should be in that room. Why is that light on? The drone pops up and flies over and with its camera investigates. And I imagine that the use case is you would get a notification on your phone and you open up the app and you can watch in real time the video, et cetera, et cetera. So let me give you the first thing that is blowing my mind about this, and then please come back for the second one. The first thing is that it's going to map your home. It's going to map the interior space of your home. And so, by the way, my Roomba does that as well in order to clean my floors and
sure.
However, Roomba doesn't also have a side business of selling me things. And so the first thing is we don't know yet because this isn't available. They just announced it. It's not
$250
we don't know what
sometime next year.
Sometime next year. But crucially, we don't know the terms of service yet. So are they allowed to do anything with it? Like if they go by your pantry and they see, what brands
you
of
should order
crackers
some more Charmin. You need more Charmin. I was just in the master bath. And your toilet paper's
family
low.
As opposed to
that's
whatever
right.
family.
That's
right.
That's right.
So that's number one, and that gets back to, and I'll leave it here so we can come back to number two later, but that gets back to your conversation about what sort of privacy are you giving up? What sort of data are you giving up? Because now they are going inside. Your home is a castle. Your hearth, going back to the Magna Carta, this is where the law can't
have a Google Nest Cam and a Facebook portal.
But the point is that you have set up those cameras at specific places that you have designated.
Right.
I understand.
But the drone doesn't go on its own. So it does say when you get the drone, it will map your home.
It has to map your home in order to not run into things.
Yeah.
Right. So at the very least, and then part two will be the law enforcement part of this, but at the very least, somewhere, on a server somewhere, they will have an interior map of your home. And we don't know what they can do with the video of it. Like, well, they put the couch over here. They put what would they do with, the TV is on in these hours with, Amazon Prime TV?
Well,
what would they do with the fact that
it doesn't come out when it doesn't come
all the
out
time. Right.
When you're home, I hope.
But it would.
Then my wife wouldn't want this. The whole idea is and they mention things like, do you ever leave the stove on? You want to know? Ask the drone. Did I leave the garage door open? Ask the drone. Where's the dog right now? Ask the drone. Apparently the drone is very loud.
On purpose.
Yeah. Well, also because they probably couldn't help it.
Well, but right, they couldn't help it. But they make a point of saying, "Oh, we're so you won't be surprised.
It won't sneak up.
Yeah, sneak up. Yeah.
The IEEE Spectrum was the most critical of this, of all of the stories. They say why you should be very skeptical of Ring's indoor security drone. They interviewed, among other people, they interviewed a number of privacy experts, a professor who said, let me see if I can find it here. Oh, I just went by the quote that I was going to read to you. Ryan Kalo is professor at the University of Washington School of Law. Said fixed cameras can be avoided, right? There's a little light on them. I see my Nest Cam right there. It's glowing. Fixed cameras can be avoided. Mobile ones can't, which makes it impossible for a child, spouse, or roommate to get away from the camera. Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Imagine the domestic violence issues involved there.
So could a husband who's suspicious of his wife leave the house and then turn on the drone and see what's going on?
Well, or say, I told you never to leave this room.
Oh, God. The professor says, if mobile surveillance is normalized, my concern is it will permit an abuser to check in on their partner wherever they are, erase surveillance blind spots, and remove excuses that the surveilled individual is merely off camera. Surveillance is a well-known component of domestic abuse. Well, that's a very good point.
Okay, let me get to point 2 real quick, and then I promise I will shut up.
No, this is your story. You love this story. I love it. That's good.
Part 2 is that, remember, Ring has gotten in trouble or has had controversy, or people haven't liked the fact that they have all these deals with local law enforcement to share things. So one would think that when Amazon announces something like this that seems a little wacky to people, that they would have already thought through, oh, will this be included in the video that we will share with our law enforcement partners? And this is quoting from the Wired piece on this. Amazon originally said the device would be included in the hundreds of video sharing partnerships Amazon has with law enforcement agencies across the U.S. The company later sent a correction and said the drone would be ineligible for this video request feature. So, okay, aside from the fact that I don't want law enforcement to be able to act, I mean, hopefully with a warrant or whatever, but I never want them to be able to launch the drone, tell me where Brian is right now inside his house. You would think that if they were going to announce something like this, they would already have their ducks in a row with this very basic question, and apparently not.